now for the final tribute of the evening. Are you ready for this, Anne? So tonight, and well, let's face it, all nights really, we celebrate and honor our dear friend and colleague, the esteemed Anne Marie Myman Hughes. Woo! We express our deepest thanks and gratitude for all that she is, all that she does, and all that she inspires in others. There is no one in all of God's creation quite like her, and Silver Lake has been truly blessed by her service. I asked folks around here to describe Anne in a word or two. Now, as impossible as that may seem, people put forth words like dedicated, fierce, peacemaker, adventurer, godsend, agitator, innovator, audacious, champion. And what became increasingly evident was that these are attributes not only that Anne embodies, but also that she inspires in others, many others. And isn't that an amazing legacy? Anne's ministry began when she was a young girl. Phil and Kay Myman raised their 5 daughters to be informed, active in their community, faithful to their church mission, and bold in their vision of what's possible. The family had a small room in their home dedicated to protest signs used to call public attention to social justices and to disrupt the status quo. Anne wrote her first letter to a U.S. president at the age of 7 when she urged President Nixon to refrain from using guns in the Vietnam War, but instead to distribute boxing gloves to the military so that no one would be fatally injured. The president wrote Anne a letter back, wishing that she be bestowed the name Peacemaker for all her life. And indeed, Anne is called a peacemaker. Anne went on to study art at the College of New Rochelle, aware that art is not only a mirror for reflecting reality, but a hammer with which to shape it. Anne created works that cause people to think differently and to come to know new consciousness about things that matter in the world. She even lived for a time in a storefront window in New York City, where passersby could view a private life in a public space. Anne is called artist, cultural creative, agitator, revolutionary. After college, Anne served with the Christian Appalachian Project in Kentucky, combating poverty and domestic violence in some of the poorest rural communities in America. She made lives richer and safer, simultaneously more independent and more interconnected. She is called advocate, protector, confidant, friend. When she returned to Connecticut, Anne's work evolved with CLASP, where she supported adults with developmental challenges to live independently in their communities with dignity, equity, and peaceful enjoyment of their own homes. She brought a sense of the divine to CLASP in the ways she honored rites of passage from birthdays to holidays to funerals, and in the way she enfolded the residents seamlessly and naturally with her own circle of friends through parties, concerts, and other outings. She gave new meaning to words like normalizing and integrating. And when she moved into her role as co-director at Silver Lake, she brought these same residents on retreat so they could find their own home away from home. She is called crusader, champion, innovator, cheerleader. Later, as a comedian and writer, Anne would use humor to add levity to the difficulties and absurdities of personal social realities, always keeping a positive spin when things might otherwise go awry rather quickly. Her blatant honesty, tact, and undermining of dominant paradigms won the hearts and minds of many. She is called witty, entertaining, outlandish, radical, and free spirit. When a former Sing Praise conferee called our home one day, asking if my band could play a fundraiser, Anne's eyes lit up. Although the caller meant me and my Boys and Me band, Anne said, "Tell them you've got a new band, all female." I did not yet, in fact, have an all-female band, but that's just the kind of joie de vivre that Anne inspires. So I did as she suggested, and voila, the girl band was born. and fearlessly led the girl band to become a force to be reckoned with, celebrated at fairs, churches, and bars all across Connecticut, and even on Channel 8's Fabulous Women of the Month with Ann Nyberg. Anne is called bodacious, fearless, visionary, and larger than life. But not very good on bass, she'll tell you. In her lifelong partnership and marriage with Tim, Anne is supportive, challenging, present, committed, willing, loving. Tim and Anna celebrate the everyday joys in life, singing to one another, leaving love notes, biking across Europe, serving God, and dreaming up new adventures. Serving together as co-directors of one of the country's most thriving camps and conference centers is a monumental 24/7 labor of love. Not many couples could do that together. Oftentimes, they put their ministry before all else, even before themselves and their marriage. For this, we owe them both our undying gratitude. And I dare say, too, that their ministry has made their marriage deeper and stronger. Anne is called companion, co-conspirator, partner in bliss, reflecting mirror, spouse, co-director. As a member of the First Congregational Church of Norwalk, Anne became active in the nursing ministry, ensuring that people had regular access to blood pressure screenings and other services. She served the community faithfully, taking on the role of elder care advocate and staunchly campaigning for the aging population's right to comfort, dignity, and self-determination. She provided much-needed respite care for families, and she taught others how to take yes for an answer. She is called guardian angel, godsend, and way shower. What all this boils down to is that Anne is a connector, an interconnector, really, a weaver of her experiences and an infuser of possibility. Anne's social justice upbringing in the Myman family and her subsequent presidential moniker led her to become a founding member of the Norwalk Peacemakers, organized at the First Congregational Church there. She educated the public, shaped social discourse, marched for peace, and worked tirelessly to end bullying at home and in war. She is called a unifier, an organizer, an upstander, and a shining light. Anne's understanding of what art can accomplish led her to establish the Silver Lake Artist in Residence program. She knows having artists create in our midst changes the culture. It lets conferees see that there is sacredness in everything they do, and that some artists think about working for God for a living too. She's even credited with launching more than one artistic career. She's pioneered countless beautification projects, and Anne and Stephanie have brought Silver Lake's extravagant hospitality to new heights. Hospitality and civility, with breakfast moved to 8:30 a.m., Sunday brunch, and honest-to-goodness, high-test coffee on demand. She's called muse, inspirer, supporter, and benefactor. Anne's awareness of the importance of serving God's children with special needs led her to bring to a Silver Lake Dean's Retreat the wisdom, expertise, and skills development required to more fully support conferees with Down syndrome, cerebral palsy, and autism. She continues to educate volunteers and staff about how we can best serve conferees with challenges in proprioceptive and vestibular skills, executive functioning, oppositional defiance, Asperger's syndrome, eating disorders, social anxiety, and more. Anne is called facilitator, healer, bridge builder, and heroine. She's avid in her mission to leave no child left inside, to bring as many people as possible to revel in God's backyard at Silver Lake, kids without financial means, without familial support, without transportation, and some even without hope. Anne works diligently not only to invite all, but to make room for all, to provide all that she is able so that they may experience for themselves the love of God and the Silver Lake community. She is called adventurer, outdoors woman, and big dog, as if you can't run with the big dogs, it's okay to stay on the porch. And let's not forget that it was Anne who opened the door to having animals at camp. When Josh Dufresne said, "Let's have ducks," Anne said, "I will care for the ducks, and the guinea hens, and the geese, and the sheep, and the pigs, and all who come." She is called devoted, animal lover, tender-hearted shepherd. Anne is called decisive where some may remain non-committal. She is called truth teller, where some may couch their thoughts and feelings. She's called audacious, where others may be conservative. It's exciting to imagine how her continuing service on the board of It's exciting to imagine how Anne will translate her experiences at Silver Lake and in the United Church of Christ in her next adventures in social work, housing, and in her own artistry, however that may unfold. Whether it be in her continuing service on the board of directors of the Outdoor Ministries Association, where things happen on a national level, or in her role as life partner of Silver Lake's executive director, Tim Hughes, we know that Anne Marie Myman Hughes, beloved daughter of God, will shine on, beautifully reflecting all that is sacred and good in the world. People are always saying about camp, "This was the best experience I've ever had," or "Silver Lake really and profoundly changed my life." And so that begs the question, how does something so extraordinary happen so regularly and with such longevity? Clearly, there is abundant love, faith, peace, community, acceptance, fun. And one of Silver Lake's greatest strengths is that it's a place where profound action learning takes place. We learn by doing, without an authority figure giving us a right answer. We engage in continuous cycles of planning, action, and reflection. And this deeply rooted reflective practice is powerful. It's transformative, and it's liberating. And that's what changes the world. It changes us. In that deeply rooted reflective practice, we look at what we're doing, how we're doing it, and what we can do better. Anne and Tim are superb at modeling and doing reflective practice. It's essential in our mission to grow a faith-forming, multiracial, multicultural, open and affirming, accessible to all, just peace, globally minded movement of youth and young adults. So, just a moment reflecting on what makes Silver Lake so extraordinary. Certainly it's in the role modeling, those before us moving cooperatively with conviction and faith. It's in our traditions, picnics on the ball field, all-conference worship, staff show. It's through our rites of passage, taking communion together, moving on from conferee to counselor to dean, sometimes even to chaplain. It's through our language when Anne and Tim urge conferees each Sunday to love God, love your neighbor, love yourselves, love the earth. It's through the unspoken at campfires in the Waterfall Chapel on the trail to the waterfront. It's in our music as we come together in that ineffable vibrational experience, singing and playing together in a way that transcends the mundane and makes everything divine. And it's not just the sacred singing. In my own reflection, I was met with a startling revelation, confronted with an obvious vehicle for sharing God's love, instilling social justice values, and moving people forward on their faith journey. It is the Repeat After Me song. Now, I know you all didn't come to fancy camp tonight thinking that you weren't going to be singing together. So if you'll all please stand, we're going to be singing in Anne's general direction over here. Anne, come up here with your godson. It gives us great pleasure to enter into our most fancy and campy selves tonight to give tribute to one among us with whom God is well pleased. This is a repeat after me song. This is a repeat after me song. And this is a do as I do song. And this is a do as I do song. About the wisdom handed down. About the wisdom handed down. And the love that's all around. And the love that's all around. About justice. Community, spirit, and faith. Silver Lake is always made new. Silver Lake is always made new. By the passing on in all that we do. By the passing on in all that we do. And Anne Myman Hughes. Whose ministry is huge. Ministry is huge. We're grateful. We're grateful. We're energized.
We're going to let Whendi's band rock it on home.